I do a bit of work with an outfit called Law Enforcement Against Prohibition.
All right.
Yes, I heard you on the podcast. I'm a follower of their work. Yes.
Yeah, they and I mean it is. It's sort
of. This is what old coppers who've seen.
Law Enforcement Against Prohibition was what would you call them? A pressure group, I suppose. Started in America by these guys who are frontline war against drugs. And on this one occasion, this guy kicks open the door of a house because the daughter of this family had somebody had walked past the house and smelt the smell of pot coming out of her window. And so they get reported, and he kicks open the door, and they go through, and they find in her drawer like 2 joints and a bong. And as they're like putting this 14-year-old girl in handcuffs, and the mum's crying and all of that, this the copper looks round the room and realises that it is almost identical to his own daughter's bedroom. And in that moment realises that these people are not criminals. They are people who are going through changes and making life choices and all of that, but they are being treated as if they are the scum of the earth. And that was the jumping on point for him of saying, I don't think that we are dealing with this problem or that we are dealing with this issue in the right way, and we are treating it like something it is not, which is a war, when in fact what this is, on the whole, are people who are unhappy using a substance, be whatever substance that is, to make themselves feel less alone and less happy. And we could be treating those people rather than treating those people like criminals.
Right, I get it. So instead of, because when people talk about legalisation, there is always the cry of, oh, but that just makes it normal, so people are allowed to be addicted for longer, and, families and will be destroyed as a result. It is that combined with addressing it as a kind of medical problem.
Well, what Law Enforcement Against Prohibition have compiled plenty of experts who are, one of the people that I have worked alongside is a guy who was an ex-undercover copper who dealt with heroin.
Right.
And his whole thing is the way in which we fight this problem is only making it worse. Because you take that heroin dealer off the street and the next guy that comes in says, well, I have to be even more fierce and even worse than the last guy, and that's how I'll protect myself from being found out.
Yeah, because the stakes are higher.
The stakes are higher, and then you get rid of him. And so all of that money and all of that organisation is all channeled up into the pockets of these gangs for making money hand over fist. And really what it's about is, if you legalise it, yes, all right, the bottom tier of people are suddenly in a world where, oh, right, I can get this for... in the case of Portugal, and I think Switzerland as well, I can get it for free, I can go somewhere, I can be medicalised, but you are also in those places treated and given access to treatment and being given access to therapy. It takes people off that, and they're not interacting with all of the crime bosses above that, whose vested interest is to keep them going for as long as possible.
Yeah, and to use them for their own ends, I guess.
And to use them for their own ends. That you basically, once you take organised crime out of the drug war, you have almost immediately won the drug war, but you can only do that by legalising it.
Gosh.